Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Skyrue and today I'm going to show you a technique for drawing the other eye. This one is very helpful for when you're just starting out to prevent your art looking like this, to keep them more like this, so you don't have to draw this. Feel free to modify this method later on in any way that's suitable for you. Anyways, let's get started. The tools you'll need are a pencil, a ruler, and of course paper. Okay, so what we're gonna do is sketch lightly a straight line across the paper for our top eyelid. I'll be sketching it darker so you can see it well. To give us that feel of drawing on the face, we're going to draw 2 lines downwards near the edge of the line we just made. It doesn't have to be perfect, just enough for us to use. Next, draw a small vertical line on the center of our top eyelid line. This is to help us make sure that the eyes are even. With the line we just made, we're going to make small markings to measure out our eye space with a ruler. Use the center of your ruler to help you measure the space. I'm using 3 as my center. With the 3 lined up, we're going to move a few lines out from it on each side for an even space. To help get an idea of how far the space will be before you mark it, you can mark the ruler and look at it, then decide if you want it wider or thinner. Once you're happy with it, then you can mark your lines. I went 5 lines apart for both sides. Now we're going to measure on both sides a little space to mark where the edge of our eyes will be at. I'm measuring at 1 inch and I'm going to mark the dots at 2.5 lines on the left away from it. Repeat the same steps for the other side. Next, in between those markings for the eyes, draw another mark where we will be using it for our iris, and as a guide for the center of our eyelids. With those marks we just made, make a line connecting to our top eyelid guideline. Before I sketch the other lines, I filled in a small line on the top eyelid line for the center of each eye. What we'll be doing next is drawing lines from the top eyelid guideline to where the face ends for the length of the eyes. We're going to start sketching at the ends of the eye on both sides. There's a little triangle gap that we created with guidelines, and the eyelids that we're going to use to help us make sure that the lids aren't off. So while you're making the other eye, look at the gap and compare both of them. If one of them is off, then you can erase or add on a little at the ends to fix it. After we sketch the ends of our eyelids, we're going to now sketch the inner eyelids area with the same steps we did. Now we're going to work on the angled part of the eyelids. So just draw a small angled line at the end of one of the eyelid going downward. At the bottom of the eyelid line, use your ruler to draw a straight line across to the other guideline. After, repeat the same steps for the other eye. Now it's time to draw the lower eyelids. Use your ruler to find where you want your lower eyelid at. Then draw a line across the face for your guideline. After, connect the iris guidelines to the bottom eyelid line. Time to sketch out the bottom eyelids now. Start off with making small horizontal lines on both eyes at the center of the iris guideline. Then, use the angled eyelids guidelines for a guide for the ends of the bottom eyelids. How I measured the inner eyelids was that I used the small rectangle space as my guide to make sure that they're both about even. After doing the lower eyelids, we're going to sketch the iris now. So use the ruler again, and I'm going to use the 3 inches to line up with the iris guideline. I marked the dots at 2.5 lines away from where the 3 inches is at. Repeat the same process for the other eye. Next, sketch out the eyes with the marks we did. We're going to do a slight curve on our eyes. So as we're sketching it out from the marks, just make a slight curve inwards on both the upper and lower part of the eyes. With the eyes done, add the eyelid crease, eyebrows, and anything else you want to add. I'm going to finish this sketch up by sketching out the rest of the features. Voila! Finished. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope it was helpful to you. I will continue making more tutorials. And feel free to subscribe for more tutorials like these. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Peace!